Hey, what's up, people? Welcome to the Infinity Lab, where we break down music production in the simplest way possible. If you've ever heard producers casually dropping terms like BPM, quantization, or MIDI and thought, did I miss a secret producer dictionary? You're not alone. And guess what? I got you covered. Today, we are talking about music production jargons, those fancy terms we use but rarely explain. And since I don't want to overload your brain, this is the part 1 of the series. So let's dive in. Alright, first up, BPM, beats per minute. Think of BPM like a song's heartbeat. The higher the BPM, the faster the song. The lower the BPM, the slower it is. For example, if you've heard a slow R&B track, it's probably chilling at 70 to 90 BPM. But if you're headbanging to a crazy EDM drop, that's somewhere around 128 BPM or maybe higher. If you want to test this, try clapping to a song. How fast you clap along is basically the BPM. Simple, right? Now let's move to the bonus tip, the metronome. Ever seen that little ticking sound in your DAW? That's the metronome, your personal timekeeper. It helps you stay on beat by playing clicks at the tempo of your track. If your BPM is 120, the metronome will click 120 times per minute, making sure everything stays in sync. Use it while recording to keep your timing tight. Okay, now let's talk about quantization, which sounds something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's actually just a fancy way of saying fixing your timing. Let's say you're making a beat and your drum hits are a little off. Because well, we are humans. Quantization snaps those notes to the grid, so everything sounds clean and in sync. Just don't overdo it, or your beat will sound like a robot playing music in a factory. MIDI, musical instrument digital interface. Now this one sounds technical, but trust me, it's super cool. MIDI is like the sheet music for computers. It tells your computer which notes to play, how long to hold them, and how hard to hit them. But the sound itself, that comes from whatever instrument you assign it to. Imagine you play a melody on a MIDI keyboard. At first, it might sound like a piano, but with one click, you can change it to a synth, a violin, or even some crazy alien sound. That's the magic of MIDI. It's flexible. Oh, and speaking of magic, if you're looking for some dope beats, check out my main channel, infDB, where I upload beats for sale. You might just find your next inspiration. Links in the description. Alright, let's get fancy. Automation. Automation is like giving your track a life of its own. Want your volume to fade in? Automation does that. Want a filter to slowly open up? Automation. Want your track to sound like a spaceship taking off? Yup, automation again. It's basically setting up changes in your tracks so you don't have to do them manually. Think of it as teaching your DAW to move the knobs for you, like a really obedient assistant. Okay, last one for today. Sample rate. Now think of a video. It's made up of tons of tiny pictures, right? The more pictures per second, the smoother it looks. The same concept applies to sound. Sample rate is the number of tiny snapshots of sound your computer records per second. A higher sample rate means more details are captured, but it also takes up more space. Some common sample rates are 44.1 kHz, standard for music, CD quality, used in streaming platforms like Spotify. 48 kHz, common in film and video production. 96 kHz and 192 kHz, used in high-resolution audio. But honestly, most listeners won't notice a big difference. Higher sample rates can capture more detail, making high frequencies sound clearer. Lower sample rates save file space and are more than enough for most music projects. It's like choosing between 1080p versus 4K. Do you really need the extra detail? Maybe. But if your audience is listening on regular headphones or phone speakers, 44.1 kHz is usually just fine. And there you have it. 5 music production jargons explained in the simplest way possible. If you found this helpful, hit that like button so YouTube knows to show this to more people. And if you want more tips and tricks on music production, subscribe, because part 2 is coming soon. Also, if you want to hear my beats, check out my Spotify, links in the description. Go stream some tracks, and maybe even drop a comment on what you'd like me to cover next. Alright, that's it for today. Catch you in the next one. Peace.